In this tutorial, we'll walk you through the full process of installing a WordPress server on AWS, Amazon Web Services, using an Ubuntu instance. We'll cover the complete manual installation process first, and then show you a much faster automated alternative using RunCloud, which, as you'll notice based on the channel you're watching this video on, just so happens to be the product we're the creators of. So, without further ado, let's get going with part number 1, the manual installation method. Step number 1 is to launch your AWS EC2 instance. First, we need to create the virtual server where our WordPress site will live. Start by logging into your AWS Management Console, and then navigate to the EC2 service. From the EC2 dashboard, it's important to select the AWS region that is geographically closest to your target audience. This helps reduce latency and makes your website load faster for your users. Once you've selected your region, click the Launch Instance button to begin the server creation wizard. Next, give your server a descriptive name, and then under the Application and OS images, select Ubuntu. For this tutorial, we'll be using the latest free tier eligible version, and you can leave the architecture set to default. As for the instance type, choose one that fits your needs. A T2 Micro is a great starting point for a very small site and is part of the AWS free tier. To log into our server securely, we'll need to create an SSH key pair. Click here to create a new key pair. Give it a name, and a special .pem file will be downloaded to your computer. You must store this file securely, as it's the only way to access your server. Next, we'll configure the network settings, which act as a firewall. We need to create a new security group, which is what AWS calls it, and then check the boxes to allow both HTTP and HTTPS traffic from the internet. Doing this simply opens up the necessary ports so visitors can see your website. For the SSH rule, it's a good idea to change the source from anywhere to my IP. This ensures that only devices on your network will be able to SSH into the server. Finally, you'll configure your storage. A 25 gigabyte disk is typically sufficient for a basic site, and you can always increase this later on. After reviewing your settings, simply click Launch Instance, and AWS will begin provisioning your new server. Step number 2, connecting to your server. Once your server instance is up and running, it's time to connect to it. Select your instance in the EC2 console and click the Connect button. In the SSH Client tab, you'll find the exact command needed to connect. Copy that command. Now, open a new terminal window on your computer, navigate to the folder where you saved your .pem key file, and paste the command. The first time you connect, you will be asked to verify the host's authenticity. Just type yes and then press enter. Assuming everything's run smoothly up until this point, you'll be logged directly into your new server's command line. Step number 3, preparing the server. Before we install WordPress, we need to prepare the server. First, we'll run a command to update all of the system packages to their latest versions. With the server now up to date, we'll install our core software stack, the Nginx web server, the MySQL database, and PHP. We'll also install a few additional PHP packages that are highly recommended for running WordPress. Step number 4, setting up the MySQL database. WordPress uses a database to store all of your posts, pages, and settings. Let's get that set up. First, we'll run a security script that comes with MySQL. You'll be asked a series of questions. For a standard setup, you can safely accept all of the default values for all of them. Next, log into the MySQL command line interface. From here, we'll run a few commands to create a new database for WordPress. We'll also create a dedicated database user and give it a secure password. Finally, we'll grant this new user all the necessary privileges to manage our new database, and then exit the interface. Remember to use your own unique and secure values for the database name, username, and password. Step number 5, downloading and configuring WordPress. Now, it's finally time to download the WordPress core. We'll navigate to the main web root directory and use a command to download the latest version of WordPress directly from their website. Once downloaded, we'll extract the files from the compressed archive, and after extracting, we'll need to set the correct ownership and permissions for the WordPress files so that our Nginx web server can access and modify them as needed. Step number 6, configuring the Nginx web server. Nginx needs to be told how to handle requests for our new WordPress site. We'll do this by creating a new configuration file inside the Nginx directory. In this new file, you'll paste the provided server block configuration. The single most important thing you need to change here is the server name directive. Replace the placeholder with your actual domain. If you don't have a domain yet, you can use the public DNS address provided on your EC2 instance details page for now. After saving the file, we need to enable this configuration by creating a symbolic link. Once that's done, we'll run a quick test to make sure there are no syntax errors in our configuration. And if everything checks out, we'll reload Nginx to apply all of our changes. Step number 7, finalizing the WordPress installation. At this point, your website is officially live. Open up your web browser of choice and navigate to the domain name or IP address you just configured. You should be greeted by the famous WordPress installation screen. If you don't see a site, then you might need to wait 10 to 15 minutes for DNS changes to propagate, and you need to make sure that you're viewing the HTTP version of the site, as we haven't configured the TLS certificate for this website yet. On the WordPress installation screen, you'll need to enter the database credentials that you created earlier. That includes the database name, the username, and the secure password. Once WordPress successfully connects to the database, you can then run the installation. On the final page, you'll set your site title, create your administrator username and password, as well as enter your email. After clicking Install WordPress, you're all set. You can now log into your brand new WordPress dashboard. Keep in mind that your site is currently running over an unsecured HTTP connection. You will still need to install an SSL certificate to enable HTTPS, configure automated backups, and set up firewall rules to protect your server. With all of those steps in mind, let's dive into part 2, the easy way with RunCloud. So now that section 1 of this video is done, does that entire manual process sound a bit tedious and complex? Well, even if you follow along with the written version of this video that we have so that you're able to copy the commands, it's pretty clear that managing servers, databases, security, SSL certificates, and backups is a huge headache. Although for hobby sites and educational reasons, we want to share the manual process, and I think it can be useful to know what's happening under the hood if you're in a technical role at a company that deploys WordPress. But realistically, nobody should be doing this manually for production-grade sites, as this is not an efficient use of your time. This is exactly why tools like RunCloud exist. RunCloud is the leading server management platform that automates all of the tedious busywork of running production-grade infrastructure. And yes, that means what we've just done, allowing you to deploy and manage high-performance WordPress sites on any cloud provider, including AWS, in just a few minutes. And it actually also covers a lot more than what we've covered in the beginning of this tutorial. Everything from WordPress backups, SSL certificates, of course, WordPress staging, you name it, RunCloud has your back. After you've connected your fresh AWS server to your RunCloud account, the process is incredibly simple. From your dashboard, you just create a new web application and select WordPress. You'll give your web app a name, and then with a single click, you can tell RunCloud to automatically install and manage a free Let's Encrypt SSL certificate for you, or attach a certificate from Cloudflare. You'll fill in your site details like the admin username and password, and you can even enable automated backups as you create a web application. Advanced options like setting up WordPress multi-site or choosing your preferred PHP versions are just as easy as selecting from a drop-down menu. Once you're happy with the settings, you just click deploy, and in less than a minute, RunCloud will configure everything for you. The server, the database, SSL certificates, and performance optimizations. And before you know it, your brand new WordPress website is ready to go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please subscribe for more videos just like this one. And if you have absolutely any questions, please feel free to drop a comment or get in touch with our support team. We're here and always happy to help.